It began the moment the nurse whispered, "Time of death. 3:41 a.m. Yet I was still standing in the room. I heard her clearly. The pen dropped from her fingers. My mother screamed. My sister collapsed to the floor. My uncle began chanting a prayer in a trembling voice. But I stood there, alive, fully awake, and very confused. I touched my chest, rose, fell, breathed. I swallowed, and blinked. Everything felt normal, too normal. But my body on the bed didn't move. It just lay there, stiff and pale, tubes everywhere like a broken machine finally switched off. First I thought I was dreaming. Then I tried to touch my mother's shoulder. My hand went through her. Not over, not beside. Straight through her skin like touching warm smoke. She didn't react. She didn't flinch. She didn't feel me. "Mama, I'm fine," I whispered. "Mama, look at me." But she only held the lifeless hand of the body on the bed. The body that wore the same clothes I remembered wearing, the same scar on the wrist, the same stubborn hairline I joked about. The body was mine. I stepped back slowly. The floor felt strange under my feet. Soft, too soft, like stepping on clouds or foam. I stared at my toes and realized they weren't touching the ground. They hovered slightly, as if gravity had forgotten me. "I'm dead," I whispered. The words tasted bitter. I expected fear to slam into me like a storm. I expected to feel cold, sad, desperate. But something inside me was numb, like my emotions were still catching up. A sound behind me made me turn sharply. A boy, maybe 12, maybe 13, stood calmly in the corner. I didn't notice him before. He wore old shorts, torn at the edges, and a faded red t-shirt. No shoes. Dust on his legs. His eyes were deep, old, too old for a child. Eyes that looked as if they had seen centuries. "You're late," he said. My heart stuttered. Late? For what? He pointed at my lifeless body. "For leaving that. You were supposed to leave earlier. Come before the way closes." "What way? Where?" I asked, stepping back. But he didn't answer. He simply turned and walked toward the wall, then walked straight through it. Not into a door. Not through a crack. Through the solid cement wall as though it was made of mist. For a long moment I stood frozen. My mother was crying. My sister was shaking on the floor. The room smelled of medicine and sorrow. My chest, my real chest on the bed, was no longer rising. Every instinct told me to stay. But something else, a tug like an invisible thread pulling my stomach, urged me forward. Not a voice, not a command. Just a feeling that if I didn't follow the boy, something horrible would happen. I approached the wall slowly. Flickered. Like a heat wave rising from hot tar. The colors shimmered. My reflection appeared faintly and then vanished. I swallowed hard. "God protect me," I whispered and stepped into the wall. Flash. A breathless moment. Darkness swallowing everything. Then light. I stood in a long hall that seemed endless, glowing faintly with soft golden light. It wasn't like any place I had ever seen. The walls weren't walls. They were beams of light woven like threads. The ground felt like grass, though it looked like shimmering mist. Tiny lanterns floated above, warm and alive. The boy was waiting. "Where am I?" I asked. "In between," he said simply. "Not here, not there. Between life and death." He shook his head. "Between where you're supposed to go and what you left behind." "And what did I leave behind?" "Your truth." I frowned. "I don't understand." "You will." He began walking and I followed. Every lantern we passed brightened when the boy walked beneath it, then dimmed again. When I walked under them, they hummed softly like greeting me. "Can I go back?" I asked suddenly. The boy didn't turn. "Maybe." "What does maybe mean?" "I want to go back. I need to go back." "Everyone wants to," he said quietly. "But only those with unfinished truths can try. Yours." He stopped walking and looked at me, sadness in his eyes. "Your truth is dark." "Dark how?" "You'll see." He pointed ahead. A massive wooden door stood before us, ancient yet glowing with faint symbols. Patterns moved on it as though the wood was breathing. Cold wind slipped through its cracks, carrying faint whispers. "What is this?" I asked. "The place where you face what you avoided," he answered. "Go inside." The door creaked open slowly. Chill brushed my face. Air carrying memories, regrets, shame, echoes of things I thought I had forgotten long ago. I hesitated. "Do I have to?" "Yes," he said. "Everyone does." I took a deep breath and stepped inside. Everything went pitch black. Then pictures began forming around me. My life, my childhood, my father lifting me onto his shoulders, my grandmother laughing under the mango tree, my first day in school, my first heartbreak, my first job, my failures, my successes, then darker memories, ones I buried deep, things I did wrong, the people I hurt, the promises I broke, the lies I told. Then the scene dissolved, replaced by something completely different. I found myself standing beside a silent river. The water was black, thick, calm. Fog swirled above it like spirits dancing. Across the river stood a small hut glowing faintly like embers in the night. A woman stepped out. My heart jolted. It was my grandmother, the one who died when I was 14. Her head wrap was the same. Her smile was soft and warm. She looked younger, stronger, but still like the woman I used to run to whenever life confused me. "My child," she said, her voice like warm smoke. "You have arrived." My throat tightened. "Grandma." "Yes." She smiled wider. "I told you that death is not the end. It is simply another beginning." I stepped forward, but a hand caught my arm. "Boy, you don't cross unless invited," he warned. Grandma nodded. "And today he will not cross. He has work to do first." My heart dropped. "Work?" "Yes," she said. "Your truth." Before I could ask anything, the air behind me twisted. Darkness gathered, thick, crawling, alive. Pulsed like a living creature. Eyes formed within it. Dozens of red glowing eyes staring directly at me. What is that?" I whispered. The boy stepped in front of me protectively. "The thing you created." "I created? How?" "Your regrets," Grandma said. "Your anger, or guilt, or lies. Everything you refused to face while alive. When people die, those things take form." The shadow creature screamed, a sound like broken metal grinding. My legs shook. "It wants to kill me." Grandma shook her head. "No. It wants to finish what you left unfinished. It wants the truth." "What truth?" "I don't understand." The shadow lunged. The boy lifted his hand and light burst from his palm, knocking the darkness back. "Say it," he said. "The truth. That is the only weapon you have." "What truth?" I screamed. Grandma looked into my eyes. "How you actually died." "But I know how I died," I said. "It was kidney failure. The doctors." "No," she said softly. "That is not how you died." The shadow shrieked in triumph, feeding off my confusion. Grandma pointed at the river. The water shimmered and turned clear like glass. A vision formed on the surface. My last day alive. And I froze. Not a hospital bed. Not machines. Not medicine. I saw myself in a car. Shaking. A man beside me, my friend Emeka, was shouting. His face red with anger. I was holding an envelope. Tears were on my cheeks. I was begging him to calm down. He was gripping the steering wheel so hard his knuckles were white. The car swerved. I hit the dashboard. Blood. Less. Darkness. I stumbled back. "No, no, that can't be real." "It is," Grandma said gently. "You buried the memory." The images shifted again. I saw myself borrowing a huge amount of money from Emeka. Money I invested in a fake online business someone convinced me was a guaranteed win. I watched myself hide the truth when the business collapsed. I watched myself lie repeatedly to Emeka, promising to pay him back soon. He found out the morning of the crash. He confronted me. Panic. I tried to flee. He tried to stop me. The steering wheel jerked. The crash happened. I didn't die instantly. Bled slowly. Passed out. The hospital never knew the real cause. Kidney failure was just the final breath when the infection spread. I covered my mouth, shaking violently. I killed myself. The shadow creature shrieked triumphantly. Say it, the boy said firmly. Say it with your whole truth. Tears streamed from my eyes. I caused my death. The shadow cracked. I lied. The shadow split. I ran from responsibility. It broke further. I caused the fight. I caused the crash. I did this to myself. The creature shattered into dust, dissolving into the air like burnt ash. Silence fell. The river calmed. Grandma stepped closer. Now you have seen. Death shows what life hides. The boy placed a hand on my shoulder. Now you must choose. My voice shook. Choose what? Move on, he said, or return. I didn't hesitate. I want to go back. I want to fix things. Grandma's smile was warm but sad. Then listen. If you return, you will wake in pain and weakness. You will not have long to fix what you broke. But you will have enough time to change who you are. I will. I promise. And one more thing, she added softly. You must forgive Emeka. And you must ask him to forgive you. Only then will your second chance hold. I will. I swear it. The world around me flickered. The boy raised his hand. Then go. Light exploded around me. My ears roared. My chest tightened. My vision blurred. And then, breath. Burning gasp. My eyes snapped open. I was back in the hospital bed. My mother screamed. He's breathing. My uncle dropped to his knees. The nurses rushed in. My sister fainted again. But I lay there crying, not because of pain but because I remembered the truth. All of it. And I knew. What happens when you die isn't always darkness. Sometimes the truth comes for you. I thought I would never see you again, I whispered. I thought I would never see you again, I whispered. The world returned to me slowly, painfully, like light creeping under a door. My chest lifted again. Air burned into my lungs as if fire had replaced oxygen. My fingers twitched. My eyelids felt like heavy stones. Sounds came in pieces. My mother crying, nurses shouting orders, the beeping of machines turning frantic. I wanted to speak, but only a whisper came out. Mama! She froze. Her head snapped up. Eyes met. Tears poured down her cheeks so fast she couldn't wipe them. She screamed my name, shaking with uncontrolled joy and relief. My uncle rushed out of the room shouting, Doctor! Doctor! He has returned. He has returned. The nurses crowded around me, their hands cold and rushing, their voices loud and filled with shock. One of them was crying. Another one kept saying, This is not medically possible. This is not medically possible. But I didn't care about their shock. All I cared about was the truth burning inside me. I wanted to tell them everything. The door, the river, the shadow, the boy, my grandmother. But the pain hit me so hard that all the words turned into sobs. I drifted in and out of consciousness as they worked on me. They moved my body to different machines, inserted lines, shouted instructions. My mother held my leg the entire time, refusing to let go. My sister, who had fainted earlier, woke up and clung to my arm. Hours passed before I could think clearly. By afternoon I was stabilized, lying on a new bed, breathing through an oxygen tube. My head throbbed as if someone split it with an axe. My chest hurt. My bones ached. But I was alive. Not just alive. Returned. The nurse left me with my family, giving us privacy. My mother stroked my hair. My son, what happened? They said you were gone. They said your spirit had left. I swallowed hard. I couldn't tell her the full truth. Not yet. But I told her enough. Mama, I saw something. I saw people. I saw Grandma. She gasped. My sister gripped my hand tighter. My uncle crossed himself. Did she speak to you? Yes, I whispered. She said I must fix what I broke. My mother's face softened with relief. Then you will fix it. You will. But I knew this wasn't about fixing small things. This wasn't about being a better son or praying more. This was about Emeka. My chest tightened at the thought of him. His face, twisted in anger. Crash. The truth I had buried. My mother saw the way my eyes changed. Tell us, she said gently. What is troubling your heart? I need to talk to someone, I said. Alone. She hesitated, but my uncle helped her and my sister step outside. When the door closed, I stared at the white ceiling. The boy's voice echoed in my mind. The truth you owe Emeka. I knew what I had to do. I pressed the nurse call button. When she arrived, I asked for my phone. At first she refused, saying I was too weak. But I begged her. Eventually she brought it. My hands shook as I dialed his number. The phone rang. Once. 3 times. Then he answered. He sounded tired. Angry. Guilty. All at once. Hello. My heart thudded painfully. Emeka. Silence. Total silence. Then a harsh breath. You're alive. Yes. Another long silence. I heard him shift. Maybe he was sitting. Maybe he was crying. Maybe he was trying not to. What do you want? He asked in a voice filled with too many emotions. I want the truth, I said. Our truth. He let out a broken laugh. You want the truth. Killed you. That's the truth. No, I said softly. We both caused it. He sucked in a sharp breath. I didn't mean to. I didn't want to. I was angry, but I never. I know, I cut in gently. I know what happened. I remember. He went silent again. I lied to you, I continued. I mishandled the money. I hid the truth. I made everything worse. He didn't speak. I forgive you, Emeka, I said. And I'm asking you to forgive me too. That was when I heard it. His sob, quiet at first, then louder. Forgive you, he said between tears. Forgive you. You don't know how many nights I prayed for your recovery. You don't know how many times I wished I could take back that day. I do know, I whispered. I saw it. He gasped sharply. You saw, what do you mean? He hesitated. Then I told him. Not the whole supernatural story, but enough for him to understand. Enough to set him free. Enough to set me free. When I finished, he was silent for a long time. Then he said, voice trembling. Come back to us, my friend. Don't die again. Not like that. Not like before. I won't, I said. Not this time. We ended the call, both relieved in a way words couldn't explain. For the first time since waking, I felt lighter. The shadow that haunted me beyond the river was gone. Truly gone. Days passed. My body healed slowly. But inside me something changed completely. I saw people differently. I understood pain differently. I valued time differently. Death had shown me the truth. Life is made of small choices that build into a destiny. And lies are seeds that grow into shadows. Every night when I closed my eyes, I saw the little boy from the in-between hall. His old eyes. His quiet strength. His courage when he fought the shadow for me. I kept wondering, who was he? Why was he there? Why was he helping me? I didn't receive any answer. Not immediately. But something happened on the 5th night after my return. I woke at midnight. The room was dim. The hospital machines hummed softly. My mother snored lightly in the chair beside me. Then I saw movement in the far corner of the room. Silhouette. Quiet. My heart jumped. Hello. The figure stepped forward slowly. It was the boy. Barefoot. Eyes glowing with quiet light. He looked exactly the same. Dusty legs, torn shirt, old eyes. I thought I would never see you again, I whispered. He walked closer, hands behind his back. Not all who return get a visit. But you still had one answer to receive. What answer? He tilted his head slightly. Do you want to know who I am? I swallowed. Yes. He lowered his gaze. I am the part of you that never grew, he said quietly. Your innocence. Your honesty. The boy you used to be before fear and pride changed you. I stayed behind the day you first lied and refused to admit it. I have been waiting for you to find me again. My breath caught. I stared at him, really stared. He wasn't a spirit. He wasn't an angel. He wasn't a stranger. He was me. The younger me. The me who believed in truth. The me who didn't hide from mistakes. The me who trusted people and trusted himself. The me who disappeared the moment I began living a life of excuses. I felt tears gather in my eyes. Why did you help me? He smiled sadly. Because you needed to remember who you were before you lost yourself. Will I see you again? He shook his head slowly. No, you don't need to see me again. You carry me now. He turned to leave, but I called out, wait, what happens when I die again? Will I go back to that place? He paused. Then he said something that sent chills through me. That depends on the life you live from now. He smiled once, small, gentle, sad, and dissolved into the air like mist. I woke my mother with my sobs. She hugged me, not knowing why I cried so hard. But I knew. I had been given a second chance. Not just to live, but to live truthfully. Weeks later I left the hospital. My legs felt unsteady, but my heart was steady for the first time in years. The sun felt brighter. Food tasted better. Every sound felt alive. I met Emeka face to face. The moment he saw me, he broke down. We hugged for a long time. Two grown men crying like children. There was no anger left. No hate. Just relief. Just forgiveness. Over the next months, I paid him back every naira. Took a new job. I apologized to people I had wronged. I rebuilt relationships I destroyed. And every night before sleeping, I whispered the same words. Thank you, Grandma. Thank you, little me. But the biggest change was inside me. Because once you've died and returned, once you've seen the truth, once you've watched your regrets take shape as monsters, you can never live the old way again. Life becomes a gift you fear wasting. One evening, months later, I visited my grandmother's grave. The sun was low, orange like fire. The air warm and still. I knelt and placed a small bunch of white flowers on the soil. Thank you for sending me back, I whispered. A soft breeze passed by. Warm. Familiar. Gentle. As if someone brushed my cheek with love. Now I live carefully. Not in fear but in gratitude. I speak the truth quickly. I fix my wrongs immediately. I chase my dreams boldly. I love deeply and intentionally. Because I know something most people never learn until it is too late. It may shock many, but these things truly happen when you die. You face your truth. Your regrets breathe. Your lies take shape. Your buried memories rise. Your innocence waits for you. Your ancestors watch quietly. And the life you lived becomes a path you must walk again. Some see darkness. Some see nothing. But some of us see everything. And if you are blessed, if your truth can still be fixed, you return with a chance. A dangerous, precious, life-changing chance. A second chance that you must not waste. And I don't intend to waste mine. Ever.